Once again, the launching phase takes us from the end of the loading phase to the contact point with the ball, and it consists of 5 noticeable movements. And in this video, we're going to talk about the second movement, which is the opening of the hips, and identify the muscles involved with this motion. Opening of the hips refers to the direction and movement that both hips turn and eventually end up facing when making contact with the ball, which is forward toward the pitcher. This motion starts out in conjunction with the continuation of the timing step seen in the previous video and replayed for you here. As the timing step is being placed back to the ground, the back right hip starts its turn or rotation toward the pitcher as seen here. This turning or opening of the back right hip toward the pitcher is caused by powerful contractions in the external hip rotators of this same right hip that, if you recall, were previously stretched during the loading phase, which can be seen again in video number 5 of this series. In that video, we identified the names of these external hip rotator muscles as Gluteus Maximus, Gluteus Medius, Superior Gemellus, Piriformis, Obturator Internus, Inferior Gemellus, Obturator Internus, and Quadratus Femoris. So now, these same external hip rotators that were previously stretched in the loading phase are now contracting here in the launching phase. This intense muscular contraction of these external hip rotator muscles, along with a continuation of the timing step, is the start of an incredible power release in the body as these muscles forcibly contract and rotate the player's backside or right side toward the pitcher, as seen here from across home plate, and again here from the pitcher's mound. Now, this rotational hip power builds right from the start of the launching phase, and it is further increased by the momentum and drive created by the pushing of this same right leg toward the pitcher. This pushing motion of the right leg involves 3 characteristic movements: extension of the right hip, extension of the right knee, and plantar flexion of the right ankle. Now, to see these 3 motions in effect more clearly, let's take a look back to the beginning of the launching phase, but this time from behind home plate. Here we are at the beginning of the launching phase, and we see that the starting position for the right hip is flexion. The starting position for the right knee is also flexion, and the starting position for the right ankle is dorsiflexion. Now, let's compare these positions here with those at the point of contact with the ball. At contact, we see now that the right hip has extended from its starting position, and you can see this just by comparing the angles at the hip in both pictures. The right knee has also extended a little from its starting position, and the right ankle has plantar flexed from its starting position. Now, keep in mind that the right hip is not in complete extension, the right knee is also not in complete extension, and the right ankle is not in complete plantar flexion. However, these are the actions or motions that are taking place in these 3 joints, all the while the hips are opening toward the pitcher, and they contribute incredible lower body strength and power to the swing. Now, the muscles involved with hip extension are the Gluteus Maximus and the hamstring muscles, which are the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and the long head of the biceps femoris. And for the record, the short head of the biceps femoris does not cross the hip joint and is therefore not considered an extensor of the hip. Now, the muscles involved with knee extension are the quadriceps muscles, or more specifically, the vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and rectus femoris. And the muscles involved with ankle plantar flexion are the calf muscles, which include the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles. Now, as the back right hip is rotating and opening toward the pitcher, and this same leg is further driving or pushing the player's right side of the body forward, the player's front left leg is stiffening and the knee starts to extend or straighten out. This stiffening and straightening of the left knee and leg produces a force in the left hip acting in the opposite direction as the right hip, and as a result, a short, compact, and explosive pivoting action across the player's pelvis is created that carries up the spine. Here's another look at the straightening of the left knee and leg from down third base line. And as we advance the video past the point of contact to right about here, we can get a better look at how the straightening of the left knee and leg forces the left hip backward in the opposite direction as the right hip. And again, this creates a short, compact, and explosive pivoting action across the player's pelvis that carries up the spine. The combination of the hips exploding open toward the pitcher, along with a massive torque created across the pelvis by the pushing of both legs in opposite directions through contact, is the primary source of power to the player's swing. In the next video, we are going to talk about the third noticeable movement during the launching phase, which is the forward rotation of the spine, and identify the muscles involved with this motion. Thanks for watching the video, and if you'd like to, please leave a comment or suggestion regarding this segment of the anatomy of the baseball swing.